All righty. We'll get our fans in here. Fans of the fans. Week 7 wrapping up. Figure I look at the time and it's 9:30. It's like, okay, we're going to go on maybe at 10, but then the game's strung on and trying to get finals. Bingo, I believe, is hopefully going to join us here, and whoever he wants to invite. But all scores are final, and what a night it was. Region play. We're going to go over some of the finals here as either you're watching live or on the replay. You can watch on the replay, but some surprises. I missed 5 games out of the 15. Congratulations to PRC. PRC won back-to-back games. Should punch their playoff ticket over Forest Hill. They defeated. The finals, though, we will go over the finals. You can go over on Facebook and check it all out. Gulf Coast High School football. Enterprises Lincoln defeats Resurrection 41-22. West Marion over St. Patrick 49-14. Tylertown wins 50-21 over St. Stanislaus. Bay High defeats Moss Point 46-27. That was a playoff game, if you want to say. 5 teams in the division. 1 makes the playoffs. And Bay High should, as they did last year, make the playoffs. Wayne County defeats East Central 19-7. Pearl River Central, I just mentioned, defeats at Forest Hill 35-20. They should be in the playoffs. And I'll get to your comments. I see them coming up there. Come on with the comments. We like them all. Hancock wins, I believe, in the last minute or so, if not mistaken, over West Harrison. I had West Harrison winning that game. And, hey, Hancock at home, 1-5 in non-region games. They're 1-0 in the region. They defeat West Harrison 21-20. I believe it missed an extra point there by the Hurricanes. Harrison Central holds off St. Martin 20-16. Stone up at Laurel. I know it was going to be a tough place to win at, but Stone got it done. I was watching that game. A couple interceptions, big plays, punt return, interception, fumbles. Stone holds on 24-21 to defeat Laurel there. George County wins, deuce back. QB1 48-13. George County wins at Long Beach. They move to 1-0 in region. Gaucher defeats Van Cleve, and I said Van Cleve, for them to win, had to keep it a low-scoring game. 47-14, Gaucher wins. I was watching some of that game. I saw, when I did tune in, saw Van Cleve, wide receiver, take it. It was like the 10-yard line. He was going to score, and they stripped him. He fumbled it. Just 47-14, Gaucher over Van Cleve. Osha Springs, 3-time defending region champion, just, took the blow to begin the game as D'Iberville took their opening drive down and scored 7-0. All Osha Springs after that, they did what they needed to do. That shuffles around the standings as I projected just this past week to where now that's a 2-game lead over D'Iberville. Osha Springs in the catbird seat right there with Gulfport. I still say Gulfport's going to win the region. But Osha Springs now with a 2-game lead over D'Iberville. D'Iberville goes to Gulfport next week. So nice win for Coach Bramlett and the Greyhounds, 27-13 over in D'Iberville. Poplarville gets by Pastor Christian. I knew it was going to be close, and Poplarville gets it done there, 21-19. Poplarville does defeat Pastor Christian. I was trying to look for. I had it a 6-point win for Poplarville. They won there by 2. Picayune trailed at halftime yet again. I know they get against D'Iberville and Picayune. I was watching most of that game, and it was back and forth. Silas quarter threw 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But the running back for Picayune he couldn't be stopped. He could not be stopped. And turnovers always play a factor, but Picayune wins it 38-28. Scores, it was closer than that. It was, 31-28 there. They couldn't stop them at the end. And Picayune was able to defeat Pascagoula to move to 1-0 in region play. And then Thursday night, as before mentioned, Gulfport wins 21-7 over at Biloxi on Thursday night. So those are the final scores tonight. And there is Bingo coming in from his game. He was over there watching Deuce Knight come back to play after missing 3.5 games, literally 4 games, to defeat Long Beach there, 48-13. How you doing, Bingo?
I'm doing good, Matthew. How about you?
Yeah, I was watching a few games from mainly the Pascagoula Picayune game. I had Stone up there in Laurels watching that game. At D'Iberville, had both D'Iberville and Ocean Spring live stream on. And it was funny because Ocean Spring stream was behind on D'Iberville, so I was hearing D'Iberville Jeremy Forehand play, call. Then I said, look over at the other one. Ocean Spring was just catching up with it, but Ocean Springs, I would say it stood up for the 8 count. They didn't get D'Iberville went down and scored on an opening drive. And that was it. That was Ocean Springs took over the rest, and they were out there starting quarterback. I don't know the reason why he was out. I don't know. Ocean Springs, that is. And then earlier in the game, the quarterback for D'Iberville went out, but I believe he did come back in. But D'Iberville just, I don't know. They look different from what they did in non-region games. I don't know. They didn't pass the ball as much. I know they're not a typically passing team, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, Ocean Springs, as I posted on Twitter, on X, that they are who we thought they were, as Dennis Green, the late Dennis Green there in Minnesota, said after that Monday night game.
They were who we thought they were.
Yeah, Ocean Springs is who we thought, and they're the region champions until otherwise. So that just throws again. Three times.
Three. Yeah.
So they just threw a wrench and everything because, again, that's a 2-game swing now. Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. I thought that game would be a little bit more, with a bit more of a battle. I thought like that Pascagoula Picayune game. Now I didn't get to watch that game yet, but I was following it with your repost on our social media platform. And at first, like Pascagoula had a clear run away with. I'm like, oh my God! But I done seen this before. In Pascagoula. I just seen it when they played Ocean Spring, and I seen it for years when they played Gaucher. You have to play all 4 quarters with Picayune to beat them. You cannot get a little lead and think that it's sweet. No, it's rough.
Yeah, it was back and forth. Pascagoula went down solid quarter, 2 long passes there, some broken tackles. They scored. Picayune came back and scored. Pascagoula came back and scored. Picayune came back and scored. At halftime, it was actually Pascagoula was winning 21-14 at halftime.
Right.
And then Picayune, did what they did in that second half. The running back, I wonder if how many touchdowns he had. I would have to see how many he had, but he had quite a few. And it was a 10-point win, but it was actually they scored when they were actually trying to run out the clock, from what I saw, I believe. But still, a 10-point win, 38-28. Picayune wins there. So
yeah, and, Sam Landrum, you were right. Daryl Smith is a different breed. That man is from Wakanda. Whatever he made of, you can't just go get. Hey, sir, don't do that, baby.
I mean, you got to watch some of the highlights. I saw it live where he made that one move. I mean, he spun around off a defender, off the DB, and just did a spin move and ran into the end zone. I mean,
that man Thanos.
He is there. So, yeah. So what? Laurent, is Duckworth is saying, 48-13. What did 48-13. I don't know if I said it different on that. George County won 48-13.
Man, that game started out crazy. First, George County running out the tunnel. As you see, I'm recording them. The players just ran over me. I ain't got knocked out, man. I'm talking about.
You got that on film, right?
Yeah, I do.
You're all right. You didn't get concussed, right. Did you?
I felt concussed for a minute, man. You got to think a helmet coming.
Who ran up?
I don't know. I'm looking for him. I got all the players looking for him. It was a George County player, man.
Okay. I was going to say it was friendly fire then.
Man. I got it on video, so I'm gonna go look.
That brought back memories. You were having flashback to Goshen when you were playing. Like, where are we at, Coach?
Hey, I ain't got hit so hard in my life because I wasn't expecting it, man. All I do, I'm looking down at the camera and then, bow! It's just, man, yeah.
So, but yes, the George County, I expected them to win 49-28. They won 48-13, 35-13 at halftime. And the highlight just came on with Blake Brennan and them. I had they're going on. I didn't get to see. I know Deuce did pretty good. I don't know what his final stats were. If you have anything about
Deuce, man, Deuce had what? Like I know he had like probably 2 rushing touchdowns. He threw 2. Like, man, yeah, Deuce back. Like he probably had one drive where, you know, he looked like he'd been out of work for like 2 or 3. I mean, he'd been out of work for like 3 weeks. Yeah. His first pass, he threw. It was supposed to have been a pick 6, but Deuce made the game-saving tackle, hauled the kid down and tackled.
So there you go. That's nice.
Yeah, it really was. You know, Auburn was out there tonight. Their quarterback coach was out there. Yeah, man. Deuce,
not the coach though.
No. It was I can't think his name. He's the quarterback coach.
Okay. Because I met. I mean, not that I'm throwing. I mean, I did meet the coach up there when we had high school state championship game when he was a coach at Ole Miss. There, Hugh Freeze, who's now at Auburn. So they're waiting for Deuce to come over there as they're struggling at quarterback. But what other game? What other game? As far as like the Goshen game, again, I was watching it and I was able to get on that.
Where's Jason Phillips at?
I haven't sent him a. You haven't sent him a link, and you want? I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, he was there. He should know. I want to hear all the lies.
Well, again, I was watching the stream, but they had the score on there, and the score was ridiculous. They had it. I wouldn't pay money. I got somebody's password to get on there just to watch the game. I wouldn't pay for NFHS. That's ridiculous. No. They had it 88-95, and then they had it. I mean, it was crazy, but I did be able to watch a little bit of it. I didn't invite Jason as of yet. I didn't know who you wanted to invite. We can invite Jason on there. He'll come on.
I'm pretty sure he will. We'll hear from him whenever he pop on.
I said it had to be a low scoring game for the Bulldogs to have a shot. And it was 47-14. I had projected 48-29. So I was off a little bit with Goshen getting 47, but I was off a couple touchdowns for Van Cleve. So that's 12 straight in a row that the Bulldogs have lost to Goshen. And now, you know, Van Cleve will go to Stone. And Stone, between the bricks, I said they were going to lose on the road. And I was watching that game. There's some big long pass plays. There was a kickoff return. Yeah. And 24-21, Stone beats Laurel. So I know Goshen's had like, man, if Stone can beat Laurel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Stone's defense is, you know, with the coach there, he's a defensive coordinator, came from Poplarville, you know, his second year coach. And so their defense is real. The offense, it does. They have a running back, and he throws the ball. The quarterback, you know, he's young. He's, I believe, a sophomore or so. But Stone defeats Laurel 24-21. So, again, I know Goshen is looking chomping at the bit as I'm projected them to win the region there. And I did project that to go back. I think I projected Laurel, of course, to make the playoffs. So,
but we ain't won district in probably since 2007 or 8 in Goshen.
Yeah, Goshen has not won and they won plenty of region title. 2008 was the last one there.
I won district in 98, 2000, and did we win in? No, yeah, 2000, 2001 or something like that. Yeah,
I can tell you it was 2000, 2003, 5, and 8. You started back off at 97. I don't think any team I know on the coast has not done it. I don't think any team has come out and won. Let me see. You formed in 97. You come out and won region in your first year. The Gators did. In fact, they won the 3 straight years winning the region. When a team forms, I mean, you know, you look at West Harrison. They split off from Harrison Central, and they're looking for their first playoff.
They still looking for their first playoff.
And tonight it was disappointing. I mean, they lost at Hancock. I mean, I heard or was getting updates, and they had the lead, and at like a minute or so left, they ended up losing 21-20 there. So
that's why people understand why I am so passionate about being a Gator, because they don't understand to be there and to go through all that, being the first to do all this and that, man, in a brand new school and the brand in the state and actually doing this stuff at a high level and producing top tier talent. And that stuff is still resonate to this day. Man, that's why I'm so passionate, and that's why I carry that pageantry about being a Gator so much.
And Gerald Wells asking the Picayune score. It was 38-28 Picayune. Pascagoula had a 21-14 lead there at halftime, and then they just came back. They fumbled the ball, if not mistaken, and there at the end they scored late. Picayune did to make it. It was actually 31-28, but they scored late, and then Pascagoula. That was all she wrote there. And I was again trying to get some stats. I don't know if the Talking Ball on X there, if they have any stats. I know they said, well, glad we gave Matt stats a loss tonight, and I did lose. The 5 games that I lost was Osher Springs. I lost that one. I lost Picayune. I lost Hancock that game. That's 3. I lost Stone on the road, and then I ended up losing St. Stanislaus, which – and I say standard. I know they lost a lot of players, but 50-21 as we have it at Tylertown, the Rockachals lose. So 5 games that I lost there, but I did get 10 right. So hey, 10-5 is not great, but I will certainly take it to move me now on the season to 77-32. So 109 games picked. So at 71%. My career average is 74. And then region games, of course, these are all region games tonight. And I went 3-1 last week. So 13-6 there. I'm actually lower. I'm at 68%, where career I'm at 77% during the region. Because region games are somewhat a little bit easier to predict. But this year, at least the first week, we didn't know what Osher Springs. I don't know if you knew or want to say. I don't think they could say why the quarterback did not start for Osher Springs, or he wasn't dressed. I don't know if it was medical or regardless, he didn't play tonight, and they didn't really miss a beat. They just kept on scoring. Osher Springs, at D'Iberville.
Well, they like in the skill position, like they full of it, like. And it's ridiculously crazy. Like when your quarterback is not in the lineup and you can throw an athlete like a Sherrod Whitehead back there and still go in there into a tough, hostile D'Iberville environment, and he come out cleaner than the Board of Health, you know what I'm saying, and put up stats like he did tonight. That's pretty impressive.
It is. And that's why, in the non-region games, he split. I say split time, but he was back there at quarterback. So it gave him the experience. Is your head that you like a wrestler? Where that?
I got busted open.
Your head is.
I got busted open. Look at that. I got busted open.
Jeremy beforehand would like that. That's some wrestling stuff.
Man, I got bust open, man. Like
I think you got that razor blade like I saw Ric Flair do at the Coliseum when I was younger. I saw, you get them and they cut. I don't want to ruin anybody's thing about wrestling. It's real, but that's what it looked. Now you moved up to the light. It's like, man, he doesn't. Look at like we played tonight. He's ready to play.
The man buzzed me open. I find out who did. I told him to get him as soon as I get home. Find it.
Well, you should have it on. Did he come from behind?
That's what I said. As soon as I find that footage, I'm gonna find out who it was.
But did he come from behind you, or you were looking straight? So I
was looking straight ahead, just like this. And
you're gonna have him coming straight ahead at you. Sam there saying he had 4 touchdowns, Daryl Smith, and 220 plus yards. I'm looking at the Talking Ball podcast and they tagged me in it. And I see touchdown after touchdown. Again, it was 7-0 Pascagoula, 7-7, and then 33-yard touchdown by Daryl Smith to make it 14-14. And then Pascagoula scores on that 1-yard touchdown run, and then Picayune missed a field goal as time expired in the first half. But it was. All Picayune there that second half. I say all of it. I mean, they did win 38-28. So Picayune, you trying to find that person that.
So
did you want to send a link to Jason? I mean, I'm sorry. I know he was. I mean, yes, he's fired up. He thought he had a chance.
I didn't
think
fire up for a little bit.
I mean, with the score, I didn't think it was going to be close. It would have been a major shock if they would have won. no, it wouldn't have been a major shock. It'd have been a semi-shock if they would have won. But they're still, battling for a playoff spot. As again, they'll travel to Stone up there at Pert, and we shall see there.
Who you talking about?
I was talking about Van Cleve going to Stone next week, and then Gaucher, putting their home winning streak on the line against Wayne County, who beat East Central. East Central just having not a good year, obviously at 1-5 now. 19-7, Wayne County defeats East Central. I had it 21-17. I had a closer score, but 19-7, Wayne County defeats East Central.
Shout out to my dog Jay Bramlin. He checking on me, man. He said, "You good, dog?"
Who'd you say, Jake? Talking about that was the coach?
Yeah. Shout out
okay.
To Coach Bramlin, man.
Yeah, and he was. They should be not the first time they were wearing their all blue uniforms, from what I heard at the beginning of the broadcast there from Shep and Osha Springs side, and tuned in.
Man, did you see them clean uniforms the Iberville had on? The camo, them was
it was for military appreciation
God.
night, and that's why they said they come out, got the ball, went down and scored. It's like, hey, we fired Osha Springs. So okay, there's going to be excitement. I'm sure Coach told them that hey, they're going to be all pumped up. They're at home. New uniforms. He mentioned it in the pregame as far as, or it might have been in your podcast that you did with him, but he mentioned that they were getting new uniforms as far as the Iberville, but they scored 7. And then the score, I mean, yes, the final score, does not. It was 27-13. They threw it with less than a minute left to go in the game. The Iberville threw a late touchdown pass to make it 27-13, and now Gulfport and Osha Springs are tied for the lead, along with Harrison Central, who defeats St. Martin.
St. Martin should have won that game from what I hear, man.
Do you? Yeah. I know it was.
St. Martin. Hey, this ain't that last year St. Martin team that went 0-11.
It was 7-3 at halftime. St. Martin was leading 7-3.
They
20-16. And I had the score 27-23. I had a 4-point. Well, I got the spread right. I had a 4-point win for Harrison Central, but they did win, and it was closer. I mean, St. Martin again. They were kind. I put in my write up that they could get the win, and they just 1-1 on the road. But in Harrison Central, that's why I put at home that Harrison Central, since they're at home. It was in St. Martin. I probably would have picked St. Martin, but Harrison Central gets the win. They're tied now, a 3-way tie for first with Gulfport, Osha Springs, and Harrison Central. And who did you say? Bingo always wanted to be Ric Flair, where George County bust his head open like that. I used to be with Ric
when
Flair.
I find this footage, man, I'm telling you, man. I told him
you better. Well, I don't know if you want to post, but Sam Lunt, Dante Dedal, originally was Oregon, now is Nebraska, doing pretty good in Nebraska. Was at Picayune tonight, so that was nice to see him back there. I didn't see him obviously on the live stream, but that was nice to see Dante there back there. And of course, Laurent, he's laughing at you there. But the top 10, I did post the top 10 results, which I have paper right here. I posted on there. The number 1 team, Picayune, won. Of course, they beat the number 2 team in Pascagoula. Poplarville, the 3rd-ranked team, defeated Pasco-Chan. Gulfport wins on Thursday night. They're 4th-ranked. D'Iberville, 5th-ranked, did lose tonight to Osha Springs, who was 7th-ranked. Gaucher wins, 6th-ranked. Osha Springs, 7th-ranked, wins. Van Cleve loses. They were 8th-ranked. George County wins. They were 9th-ranked. Stone, 10th-ranked going into this week, and they did win. On the outside, the teams – looking at me as one of the voters, who's going to drop out, who's going to move in, I don't even know. Just initially looking at it, who's going to drop out, who's on the borderline on that 8th, 9th, and 10th. Van Cleve was 8th. Well, they drop out, who's going to jump in? I have, or not me, the pollsters, we have West Harrison at 11th, Biloxi at 12th, Pasco-Chan was at 13th, St. Martin at 14th. All of them lost. Harrison Central was at 15th, and they won. I don't know if Harrison Central is going to jump in the top 10, but that'll be out on Tuesday at 7:00 as normal. But you can get that on Twitter or on Facebook, the results of the Coast top 10 there. But Picayune at the top, and they win, and they defeat Pascagoula, who just beat D'Iberville and Biloxi. and but that weakens their strength of schedule because Biloxi and Diaville lost tonight. So
yeah,
but those are the wins. And I don't want to overlook. Again, it's not a playoff game, but 5 teams in the division. It was Bay High and Moss Point, the winner of that game. Had, just like last year, Bay High beat Moss Point and they made the playoffs just because, again, they have 5 teams in the region, and that's your way to get in is to beat the other team in this game. As the other teams, they most likely are not going to beat Moss Point or Bay, and so Bay High looks to get into the playoff with the win tonight. And also, Coach Feaster, I picked them to win. I picked them to get their win 2 weeks ago to stop that streak. And I picked them to win on the road tonight, and they do defeat Forest Hill 35-20, and they look to get that playoff spot there.
Coach Feaster taking the Blue Devils to the playoffs
since 2015. Since 2015. The only way I say that because people will say, well, how they in the playoff? Well, they're again a 5-team division. Hattiesburg, who won tonight. Hattiesburg coming in was 6. I don't think they updated this time. 6-0. Terry's 5-1, and West Jones is 5-1. So then you have PRC and Forest Hill who just played. Can Forest Hill or PRC beat those other 3 teams? Most likely not. So if they have the same record or not the same record, you go with heads up, and PRC should be in the playoffs since the 2015 season. And that's what it is there. So let me see. Yes, Moss, as Lorenzo's talking about there, had their best chance to win their first game of the season. If they didn't win, they would be on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, man. Like they be right there, man. Like they right there. Like,
what was the? Let me see what I wrote down here. It was 27-14 at halftime. Bay High was winning, and Bay High ended up winning 46-27. I had it 33-26. So I was a little bit off on that part. So, of course, Brian Higginbottom there, OS expresses about the role. Osha Springs will host Harrison Central next week, who's 1-0. Both teams 1-0 in the division. And right now, yes, Osha Springs is favored to win at home, even if they were at Harrison Central. Harrison Central, I think, just trying to get their feet under them. A nice win tonight against St. Martin. Again, they're not live streamed, so I only got score updates, so I have to watch the highlights to see how that game went. You said St. Martin could have.
Look at Boz. Boz up in the comments, and his butt's supposed to be on here.
Yeah, what's your record on the season? I just went over it, Boz. I was 10-5 tonight. I'm not happy with that 10-5. Last year I was 12-3 last year.
Look at him laughing.
Yeah, he needs to be on here, or we need to. I thought he was an admin where he could jump on. Well, bring him on here. Of course, Gulfport played Thursday. He's still carrying that belt. I had that flashback last year when he had that belt on over his shoulder when we went to him live. But anyway, Boz, I am 77-32, so I'm at 71% overall. And then again, 13-6, went 3-1 last week and 10-5 tonight in region games. I keep separate there. So, 74% over 8 years. Now this is my 9th year doing it. I think that's pretty decent. I haven't had a below 500 record, I don't know, in a few years. So again, these region games, are again not easy, but are a little bit easier than non-region games. Especially, it saves me a little bit of time not having to look up.
Oh yeah, y'all good, Trev. Y'all just want to win district now, man. Like, y'all, that game tonight was gonna be, I feel like, who wins district. So Picayune is waiting on their second to the last game of the year to play against George County, and George County's waiting on the last game of the year against Pascagoula. George County still has a chance to win district.
Correct. But Pascagoula win again. I keep on saying it's a 2-game swing for Pascagoula to win district. Picayune has to lose 2 games. And Pascagoula can't lose no more. So that's why I mean it's big when it's heads, because if Picayune loses and Pascagoula wins out, and what are they? 1 loss.
Right.
Go to who's heads up. So that's why it's so big that it's there. And George County will be they'll host Hancock next week. So, and then they'll play at West Harrison, and then at Picayune, and then at home against Pascagoula. So, like last year, if not mistaken, I think that was for the second seed at Pascagoula, George County.
It was
there. So,
Look, Neff, man, you know them folks, you know that why I work, man. You know these my people, man. You know what's up, man. You know I'm a Gator all through and through, man. Like, don't let like, yeah, just I'm gonna get it on there one day.
The George County game is in Picayune, so that's not somebody was asking there. Lorenzo was asking if it was in Picayune. Yes, it is in Picayune.
Yep.
That's not good for George County. Not saying it can't win. I mean, teams have won, but again, going back to the coach Stogger has never lost 3 games at home in a season.
You said it, man. Hey, so he know how to get it done, man.
Their defense is a little sus. So they're giving up more points than they ever have under his regime, but it just with the running back and they come through. They again trailing like they did at Iberville, and they came back and took it. So. But Boz needs to. I thought we need to get Boz on here or Jason on here to. But yeah, Lorenzo on that when Gulfport and Biloxi played the last game of the year, like the Iberville St. Martin. I did a story on it before this season started, or it might have been last season. I think it was last season when it implemented. Every 2 years they could change the schedule. They could change the region schedule too, as far as. When at the order they play, they're going to say to play the same teams. But the coach from D'Iberville, who used to be the coach, who was at Forest County now HAS, he has suggested it years ago to say, hey, we get more people and it'd be more of a rivalry game if D'Iberville played Biloxi the last game of the year. And because it just wasn't a game for D'Iberville and St. Martin, that was always the last game, but it's not necessarily a rivalry game when St. Martin only beats them twice up the last, 20 years. So
yeah, all them games they call rivalries, man. Them ain't no darn rivalries.
Yeah, so they voted on it. They decided that's why they changed it last year. So now Biloxi will play D'Iberville in the last game of the year, and Gulfport, who used to play Biloxi, will now play Harrison Central, and that's a rivalry game there.
Right.
Gulfport and Harrison Central. So
can somebody find Jason? Can somebody find Jason Michael Phillips? Can you let him?
I didn't send him a link. Did you send him a link?
Oh no, I ain't sending no link. You started the live.
I have to go off I have to go. Let me see.
Let me see. You started the live.
Well, let me guest. Let me see. Invite guest. Oh, you probably can't hear me.
Mr. Michael Phillips. And
okay. So yes, to get on the stream, you got to be sent a link unless you're a VIP like Bingo and you just pop up. You don't need a link. But no, correct. So I sent him the link. So we'll see. I'm sure Jason will come on. I'm sure he won't have a shot. Again, the one part that I watched, a couple of them, they were fixing to score. They had that slant pattern. He caught it and spun around and was going at the 10-yard line, and Gaucher came behind and ripped the ball off, and he was gonna score. And so
everybody want to know.
So Jason, Van Cleve his son's a senior this year, so they're he's looking for good things for them, and they were looking. I told you Laurel is kind of struggling this year. They lost against Stone, so if Van Cleve said, "Hey, we got a chance. We beat Gaucher. We can get maybe a sniff out of our first region title," is what they're looking at. So now with losing to Gaucher, hey, you can still get a 2 seed, which will be a first round home game. But now you got to go to Stone next week. And I'm looking at the last home game for Van Cleve was 2015. 2015 was the last home playoff game. They played last year at Brookhaven. They lost. 2022, they won at Hattiesburg. They lost at Gaucher. And then it goes on down where they were on the road, Macomb, Greene County, West Lauderdale, 2018. Mendenhall, they beat Mendenhall 2015, and they played at home against Purvis, and they beat Purvis. And in the third round of the playoffs, and they almost made it to South State, they lost to Lawrence County. That is Van Cleve. So I did send the link out. They are not, or at least not the ones that came up. True, rivalry is – again, when it's a little bit back and forth instead of who's that? Don't downplay Stone win. No, we're not.
Who
I'm
are
just
we
saying,
downplaying that? We wanted Stone to win. We coach football. What are you talking about?
Now, I mean, I did pick Laurel to win because it was up. I told you if it was at Stone, I would lean Stone and pick Stone at home. But
it's hard to win between the bricks.
Between the bricks, and they did hold. It was 24-21. So, I mean, they have a defense. Stone has a defense. Their offense is coming along. Running back, they threw a couple long passes tonight. I was watching on the stream with that Wayne was doing that I called Gulf Coast on. So we'll see if he comes on here. That changed the game right there in Miami when Alabama did it in Miami. So again, the finals. Again, PRC looks to make it to the playoffs with their win, back-to-back wins for PRC. I would have to look at the stat because tomorrow I'll come out with the stat that and come up with these who's hot and who's not, and that'll be one of the records there or PRC. So again, to stop the 17-game losing streak. So the last time that they won 2 games in a year was 2021 was PRC. So last time that they made the playoffs again, 2015, and that's when the quarterback and I'm drawing a blank. Count me bingo with the quarterback was 601 Elite. He was AJ Wyatt. He was the quarterback for PRC when they made the playoffs in 2015. That was the last year they made the playoffs. So that was good there. But yeah, we should have brought balls on. Balls. But anyways, as far as other, surprising games, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do my usually post fan talk and what game surprised you the most, and I try to respond to everybody's response on that. Again, I got 10 games right and 5 games wrong. Osha Springs at D'Iberville, I did get wrong. Is it a shock? No, it's not a shock. Osha Springs, they're the 3-time defending champion. D'Iberville just looked different in the non-region games. They're playing at home. I didn't know they had new uniforms, but that didn't make a difference.
That was hard. I ain't gonna lie.
And
my buddy sent me a clip of that, and I was like, "Oh, that is pressure."
Of what?
Of D'Iberville, them camo uniforms.
Yeah,
Craig,
I know. I was watching the stream. I was watching D'Iberville stream at the time, and it was fourth quarter to down, 27-7 at the time, and the fan is sitting there. Why are we're down 3 scores? Why are we running the ball? Pass the ball, and somebody replied to, "Hey, it's the wing tee, and that's what you do. If you get down, it's hard to come back." And they did throw it eventually, and they did throw a touchdown with less than a minute to go. That is D'Iberville. But I just thought they played a little bit different, had a little new wrinkle in the non-region games, and then watching this game here, it's just they couldn't get anywhere with Osha Springs defense. And right now, those non-region games, 1-4 in them, they are, showed true here tonight with the Greyhounds getting that 27-13 win. Again, they scored with less than a minute to go, so it really wasn't that close of a game there. But D'Iberville can't waste any time as they will go to Gulfport next week, and they have to win that game if they want to try to get a number 2 seed in a first-round home playoff game. So Gulfport will be waiting for them as Gulfport defeated Biloxi on Thursday night at 21-7 there. The other games that I got wrong, of course, Picayune. I told you I was not nervous. I was like, man, do I want to go against Picayune at home? But Pascagoula playing pretty good. Pascagoula probably wants me to pick against them because I picked against them against Biloxi and D'Iberville, and they beat them both. And then they go to Picayune. They're similar to Gulfport's offense, and they have a good defense. I know Parnell is out for 3 or 4 weeks, so they lose a big part of the defense for Pascagoula. They were going toe-to-toe with them and until they weren't. And so Picayune, wins there, so I lost that game. I had a 3-point win for Pascagoula. They lost. They were losing by 3 until very late in the game when they ran off a touchdown run there to make it 38-28. The other game I lost, the third game, Hancock. I had West Harrison said West Harris and Hancock struggling. They're not the same team as last year. They're building up this year again, but 1-5 on the season. The Hawks, West Harrison, coming off. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and I didn't watch the game because they didn't stream it, so did not really get many updates at all from the West Harrison game. But I knew from what I was told, they lost it in the last minute or so. That is West Harrison, as they fall to Hancock 21-20. They're trying to make their first playoff appearance. That is West Harrison. The third game was the Stone game. Again, if they were playing at Stone, I would have leaned Stone in that game. I had it a 5-point win for Laurel, so I knew it was going to be close, and it was a 3-point win for Stone. So I lost that game. And then the final game that I lost was the St. Stanislaus, who just hasn't won on the road. 4-game losing streak now on the road. They lose at Tylertown 50-21. So those are the 5 games that I lost. I got West Marion correct over St. Patrick. St. Patrick still winless on the season now. 12-game losing streak. That's the longest active going. And I guess Jason is not going to come on. But anyway, so what was that? My green pick. I don't know. Oh, is that the order you're trying? Oh, so he's trying to say Hancock is going to make I came out with my region predictions. He's saying that Hancock is going to be that 4th team. Let me refresh. Let me go here just to make sure. Let me see. George County. You got Picayune's going to win the region, or now I had Pascagoula winning the region with Picayune right there, and George County. Those 3 teams are going to be in Picayune, Pascagoula, George County. Right now, Picayune first. I mean, of course, to the standings, George County second and Pascagoula was third. Yes, Hancock is tied with 1-0 with their win. And the other team is West Harrison 0-1, Long Beach 0-1 there. And who's the third? Pascagoula is 0-1. So, I mean, you that's your prediction. That's fine. Hancock may get that 4th seed. I had West Harrison, but now they're 2 games behind. They're 2 games behind now, just because of that heads-up factor there. Well, Hancock will play at George County next week. If they beat George County next week, I don't say lock up a playoff position, but they got it's pretty good there.
I don't know, real. Looking at what Lorenzo saying, he was saying he predicting West Harrison to make the playoff. That loss to Hancock tonight put a damper on that possibility.
It did, because now they're going to – Hancock is – of course, looking at on face value on their schedule, West at George County, right now, I would say they lose at George County, they'll lose at Pascagoula, they'll win at Long Beach, and they'll lose Picayune. So that's 2 wins right there for Hancock, including tonight. This is all just right now in week 1. West Harrison lost tonight, so they play Picayune next week. They host Picayune. It would be a semi-shock. It wouldn't be shock the world if West Harrison beats Picayune, because, West Harrison, I don't know what he did tonight, but, I mean, Jordan Stapleton, he's a back there at West Harrison. I don't know what stats he had tonight, but I say they lose at Picayune. They're 0-2. Can they host George County? Can they beat George County? I mean, they could beat them. Will they? Right now, the odds would say no. So then they go to Pascagoula. This is West Harrison. Goes to Pascagoula the following week. Can they win at Pascagoula? On paper, right now, we would say no. Anything could happen, obviously. And then they'll host Long Beach. Could they beat Long Beach? Yes. So what does that give them? 1 win. So, since they lost to Hancock has 2 wins. So that's why we say it's a 2-game swing, and West Harrison is on the outside looking in. And they're going to have to come up with some kind of win over Picayune, George County, or Pascagoula, because they should beat Long Beach. So, anyways, I digress and stop yapping on that. So, yes, as far as you watch Brick podcast this past week, they interviewed Jordan Stapleton, and we're going to shine some more light on him. He don't think he's getting a little as players. He does on Twitter. In fact, I follow him on Twitter. He follows me. X, same thing. And I don't know what he did tonight, but it was a great interview there with the Bricks, asking him, does he like to run over a defensive guy, or does he want to move? He said he can do both. He said rather, break his ankles, or he didn't exactly say those words, but something to that effect, break our ankles. But hey, if I need to run over him, I'll run over him. So that is Stapleton there out of West Harrison. So again, tomorrow I'll have the stat that, and they have the fan speak and what games that surprised you or not there.
I told you the main game surprised me was ain't just shit. The top 2 games of the week, man. I really thought Pascagoula was going, I had them winning that game slickly. I'm not going,
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go in and possibly do the unthinkable.
Because they were they're real balanced as far as on both sides. Again, I know they lost the big, defensive part of their team, the captain. They're on defense, but the Silas Quarter, the senior, he is breaking records left and right there at Pascagoula, and he did tonight. He threw again the first quarter, he had 2 touchdown passes. So we have Action Jackson there, and so that's what I thought that they had, and I was hesitant to do it, to go against Picayune. I did it when Ocean Springs beat them that last year. I didn't do it when Gulfport went there. I said, "No, I'm gonna go with Picayune." And of course, Gulfport beat them. So going with there. We do have James Spann the second. He said he can come on if we want to bring in. He's Moss Point that they fell short.
I hate they didn't get past Bay. They needed that.
Yeah, I mean I did because they were at Bay, so that's why I picked Bay. They are over Moss Point, and that was whatever word I'm trying to come up with. I don't want to say playoff game, but again, 5 teams in the division. You win, you get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
win that game.
Yes, Bay High won last year. Bay High went in the playoffs. So this year, again, 27-14 at halftime, and Moss Point this fell short, 46-27. Now next week, Moss Point will host Pass-Christian, who's now 0-2. Poplarville beat Pass-Christian, which I had Poplarville winning, but Pass-Christian, they were close, 21-19. I had a 6-point win for Poplarville. They won by 3. So Poplarville doing what they're doing, even without some key players. But Moss Point will host Pass-Christian, and Bay will be at Greene County. Of course, Greene County off this week there. So I didn't know if you want to bring him on. What time is it? I know it's 11 to man. Let me see if I bring him on just for. See what
Gators by 40 every week from here on out. If you don't believe me, ask your mama. I got us by 40 every week from week on out.
Oh, they'll play at home and put that streak on the line. I believe it was 14.
Yeah, we got 2 more home games. We got next week homecoming, and then our last game of the year, senior night against Laura. Our only 2 homecomings to extend the streak. Playoffs don't count there, do
they? Yeah, I usually put on there. I'll stipulate they've won straight through. They've won playoff games too, but I'll stipulate in there. They won team A won 14 straight regular season games because they won. They've lost in the playoffs. Gaucher has played. Last year they won the one game at home against Natchez, and so they were 6-0 last year. That is Gaucher. Now sometimes this website doesn't get it all correct because I know personally, obviously, that Harrison Central, that Gaucher played, the game 1 played Harrison Central at the first game of the season, and they have it as a home game on this website. Well, it's a neutral field. They don't get credit for a home win. Right. So I know that, but do I know these other games, the other seasons? So I don't, but I know this year. So right now They've beaten Pascagoula at home, and they just won last week against Columbia. Then again, you said Wayne County and Laurel. So they won 2 games this year. Oh, and we have James that will be coming in on here. And then last year they won at Natchez. They beat Stone, East Central, Van Cleve, Moss Point, D'Iberville, all of them at home. In 2022, this is Gaucher with their home winning streak. They won the 2 home playoff games. If you remember, they went to South State the first year. So those games count at
Our
home.
last loss at home was against Picayune in 2021 when Dante died.
That's what I'm going. Yep, that's what I'm going to now. I'm flipping to 2021. It was the last regular season game on November 4th, and then y'all lost at West Jones that following week. So I do stipulate in there when a team is on a winning streak, like Poplarville. Poplarville's on an 8-game home winning streak. So they have won 8 straight games. I would put in there they've won 8 regular season games at home. So, but they have not. So we'll get James on here as I know it's going on 11:30. And not that we have places to go tomorrow. We still got over 100 people watching on the stream. So there he is, James Spann the second there from Moss Point. So how was it tonight, James? I know not the outcome that you wanted. And 27-14 Bay High halftime lead. Did they ever get close to that? What happened in that game tonight?
No one game close. Probably, I think close like 2 scores. So no 1 point differential. Probably at the beginning of the game it was close, but early in the game still a lot of game to play. So really doesn't mean nothing until you get to the second half. And then saying like I told you early in the weeks prior, you playing 4 quarters, but you gotta get the points on the board. Your points don't go and they don't go tick for tat. I told you it don't look well. So just fell short, and like you said, Bingo, hey, this key game you gotta win. You didn't win it. So I tell people last year, I don't know if you heard about it, but I got word that I think Poplarville that Greene County game last year, that Poplarville intentionally lost that game, so Mossville didn't make the playoffs last year. I tell people all the time, you win these games, so you don't put the hands in other people's hands because now you don't control your destiny. Other teams do, and that's the thing you don't want to at all. And now you put your hands on other teams, so now, like I say, you really don't have a chance to really make the playoffs. Period point blank. It sucks to say, but it's real. So. Yeah.
Does any player stood out tonight? Ford, they throw a touchdown, they run a touchdown. I mean, any players that did pretty good?
Yeah, the same 3. Quarterback Kevon Ford, Condarius McCorvin, and offensive and defensive lineman Deshaun Fizel.
Yeah, like I say, that I remember that game last year. That was kind of surprising when again Poplarville lost because Moss Point needed them to beat Greene County, and you figure Poplarville's rolling that they're going to beat Greene County, and they did. Now I know that's what you're hearing. I haven't heard personally, but teams. I wouldn't put it past some teams or coaches when you're a 3rd and 4th seed. And you look up and say, "Oh, I got to play either. If I win, we're going to play Oak Grove, or just throwing out team, or play this other team." And they say, "Well, hey, let's." No coach has ever admitted to me that they've didn't play their hardest, to get to win or to loss, because now you're playing a different seed in that last game of the year. And unfortunate last year, Moss Point, like say, they couldn't control their own fate there, in Greene County, beat Poplarville. And we say it again, it's a playoff game. Moss Point has 2 games left in the season. That's it, because they're off that last week. They didn't fill it with 5 teams in the region. 1 team is off every week, not off, but unless they want to play a non-region game, and they don't have a non-region game scheduled for that Halloween night, which is the last night of the regular season. But they host Pass Christian next week, and then at Greene County. We're not saying, obviously they're not eliminated from the playoffs, no. But if they can be, Pass Christian and Greene County, they're right there. But that's a lot of stretching there, and it's hard. It'll be hard for them to do as far as Moss Point. So, yeah, that is unfortunate there on the loss tonight. But you still try to go out and take somebody out with them. Again versus Pass Christian, and then they'll be at Greene County there in 2 weeks. So, but yeah, there was a couple of comments about Gaucher and about Stone's defense. I don't know if
Gaucher poke the bear. Don't poke the
Oh.
bear, James. I'm trying to tell you, don't poke the bear now.
Yeah.
We'll do it intentionally now. Like, it ain't hard.
Yeah. But, this hopefully the morale, with Moss Point, the players are out there trying just like all the other teams. Like say St. Patrick is the other winless team. They have a coast longest losing streak, and look at PRC. Again, back-to-back wins PRC, and they're look to be in the playoffs as they won tonight.
Man,
there.
look at St. Martin. St. Martin had the biggest so far. St. Martin has had the biggest shift and turnaround from a team that went 10 last year to you got to really play against them Yellow Jackets right now because they're
a young team.
Yeah, very young. I think they got a sophomore quarterback.
Yes, and I've been tagged in the video. I have to go look and see a player. I guess he's on the 8th or 9th grade. Who's that? Dawson with an E.
Oh,
Dawson Sullivan.
It's twins, Dawson and Dawson and Dawson Sullivan.
Well, the quarterback has, from what I saw of the several videos, has the it factor. I mean, he don't panic. I mean, he sees the holes, he throws the, and that St. Martin. If he's coming up through St. Martin, because people can, I guess, transfer, but St. Martin,
man.
What grade is he in 9th or 8th?
8th grade, 8th. Both of them.
Okay,
They're in 8th grade. Twins. The quarterback is Dawson, and Dawsey is the receiver.
Yeah,
Dawsey is like he can play like they was on my 7-on-17 last year, 7th grade. Them boys really made a name for themselves coming out hard like that.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna hear more from them. I'm finna get on y'all nerves, man. I'm finna put a whole marketing along with their dad and their mom and sister. Man, we finna put a whole marketing brand behind them.
So St. Martin, but we were talking on St. Martin. Yes, they lose a close one to Harrison Central, and now they will host Biloxi. And Biloxi, I mean, they lost to Gulfport. I mean, here St. Martin's at home. I mean, I know they will have to see who I project in that game on who's gonna win.
Man, looking at Biloxi games, man, Biloxi problem is they don't finish games. They start out good. Yeah, they just don't finish, man. That's the whole thing. Like you gotta finish. Like
Coach Dubose, if I'm saying it right, that is implemented. His offense, defense. He has the coaches in place. It may not make a lot of noise this year, but I think give him next year, even the year after that he's there. They've lost 5 straight games to Biloxi, that is St. Martin, but St. Martin had beaten them 6 times previous to that. Going back to 2013. So that is there. So anything that you want to add there, James? I mean, you're welcome to stay on. We're fixing to be getting off here as it's 11:32 on this week 7 first game. Everybody's in region games. So how'd your picks do, James? I know I shared your post. I don't remember exactly who you picked. But I think you picked Pascagoula, did you not?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man. I did too. You know that. That's what I'm saying. Everybody was saying it, but Picayune says, hey, wait a minute. We're Picayune. Again, they're not the exact same team as last year. Offense is there. The defense is a little bit weaker. So I figure, hey, Pascagoula has it together. They're going, and I can't figure out Pascagoula. I pick them 2 weeks, they win. I pick them to lose. I pick them to win, then they lost. So, and next week, they host Long Beach. I'm picking Pascagoula to win right now. I can tell you that. But what's your other games that you picked that if you know off the top of your head that you did that you won or lost?
I picked Stone to upset Laurel this week because I know the defense is pretty good. Let's see. The game that shocked me was West Harrison losing to Hancock. I did not expect that.
That was surprising. I know I heard that they lost very late, like a minute or so in the game, and they missed the extra point, something to that effect. And I was shocked. I was surprised. And that wouldn't have shocked the world, loss, but it was a semi-shock there the way Hancock has been playing. But hey, it's region. They flipped the switch, I guess, and I don't know. Harrison Central it was. I picked them to win. So what else did you do after that? West Harrison, you lost. Pascagoula, that you lost. You picked Stone. That's good.
D'Iberville lost, and I picked them to win. Man.
And their new unis at home, they're a little bit different. They've been doing good in non-region games, but hey, Ocean Springs didn't do good in non-region games since of course it's a tougher schedule on the coast, if not in the state, and it wasn't close after D'Iberville went down and opened a drive and scored a touchdown, and that was it, 27-7, and less than a minute to go in the game. They toss the ball in the end zone and they score and missed extra point, so 27-13. Ocean Springs wins there. So, yeah, I was on that same train there. I lost 5 games out of the 15. And I know you don't pick as many games, but what other – so that's – you're breaking even. What else do you have?
St. Stanislaus losing a big margin versus Tylertown this week. Man.
Yeah, I was hesitant on that game, but because I looked up, Tylertown, and they're 2-3. And Rocks haven't won on the road. They're on a 3-game losing streak on the road. Chiefs are 1-1 at home. So, and both of them won their region last year. So, of course, in different regions, that is. So, yeah, it was 50-21. So I lost the St. Stanislaus game there. So, but Enterprise Lincoln over Resurrection, I got West Marion over St. Patrick. I was able to get that. Poplarville over Pass Christian. That was 21-19.
Wow.
That was a very close game there. That Poplarville held off Pass. It was 14-6 at halftime. Then it was 21-19. Poplarville won on that game. Of course, Wayne County beats East Central 19-7. East Central struggling this year.
Yeah, man.
So.
They got to come to Goshen got to go to them, I think, next week.
And again, Pearl River, in a playoff game there to get into the playoffs, most likely. They went on the road, so they beat Forest Hill, so that was a great win there. Of course, Goshen beating Jason. Well, I guess Jason's not going to come on. They are 47-14. Goshen beats Van Cleve. And Stone beat Laurel at Laurel. So 15 games tonight. And that's probably going to wrap things up here. Let me see. Duckworth talking to you, bingo there.
Yeah. He sent you 2 weeks.
Yeah, Goshen go. But he said don't poke the gator, not the bear. We know.
I was just using the analogy of how I knew the quote.
Yeah. So that I think is going to wrap it up with this 7th week. And again, you can get all the information on our Facebook page, Gulf Coast High School Football at Bingo Media. 228 Sports will have their podcast, and Coach Bramlett there, Bingo will interview him. Should be on Thursday. I know he'll be, very much pleased with the Greyhounds, what they did tonight in D'Iberville. Yeah, next week's games, even though we don't like to turn the chapter so quick after tonight, but next week's games, which I'll post on Sunday, Resurrection at East Marion in 1A, 3A St. Patrick at St. Stanislaus. There's only one non-region game next week, and that's Poplarville at Tylertown in 4A. But region games, Bay at Green County, Pass Christian at Moss Point, and 5A Van Cleve is at Stone, Wayne County at Goshen, East Central at Laurel, and the 6A, Hancock at George County, Picayune at West Harrison, Long Beach at Pascagoula. In the 6A Region 3, we only have one team, that is PRC. They host Terry. And then in the big schools, 7A, you have Ocean Springs and Harrison Central tied for the region lead at 1-0, also with Gulfport, who was 1-0. But Harrison Central at Ocean Springs, D'Iberville at Gulfport, and Biloxi at St. Martin. 15 games next week, one of them non-region, and we'll get to going at looking at next week. So anything else you want to finish up with there? You got a Band-Aid on your head. What? Don't step on the Castell bingo. So Bingo got concussed tonight. We'll have to see. I'm not saying to post a video because we don't want to put the player on. He didn't mean it. He's just trying to get you to live action. But
yeah, I'm in there, man. Like me, I like to stay in there and get that shot, man. James know what it's like to get that money shot, man. Like,
yeah. James, did you do an interview tonight, James? There?
No interview. No
Okay.
interviews.
They wasn't feeling it tonight, or you just couldn't get to them.
Just gonna get to them.
Okay, that's no problem. I'd say it's all good there. I will share some highlights tonight from WXXV on the Facebook page, and then tomorrow I'll share WLOX their showdown, Friday night showdown. So I kind of split it up for the highlights there, and then again the stat that tomorrow, and see what else I can come up with. The quick look at next week's on Sunday. Fan talk tomorrow. What game surprised you? All that on Facebook. So the one-stop place, for all the fans to come and talk, as it's been popping tonight. All these fans talking and bringing out their receipts and banging their chests as they should in the first game of the region play. So
Gators by all that. Gaucher going
Gator.
to state, man. This is the year we getting our district title back. And we going to the state championship in Southern Miss. I need to go ahead and book my room while I'm playing. I'm playing around. I need to book my room.
Yeah, well, since it's up there, I don't necessarily get a room, but I'll go.
We celebrating your birthday up there this year, man.
December 3rd.
Yeah. So
I know last year we didn't.
We'll be here then. We'll be here then.
Yes, it will, because it's the first weekend. It's that December 5th, 6th, and 7th. So it's on a Tuesday, but we can still celebrate it there. Hopefully I'll be around there, but around here. So we'll see. But yes, the state championship games at USM Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of December. And first time last year in 12 years that a coast team did not play for a state championship. So we hopefully can get that back with Gaucher. I feel Gaucher still felt Pascagoula is still there, but Picayune is still there. So I'm, one of those teams looking to get there.
We still got a lot of teams that got a good chance, man. We still region play just started tonight.
Yeah.
Technically, even though it started last week, it started tonight.
Yeah, so we're looking there. Of course, the most we can get is 6 teams there, but unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be like in 3A with St. Patrick or St. Stanislaus, at least after week 1, can get there. And then Resurrection, we shall see 4A, 4, 5, and 6 and 7A. We'll see if Poplarville get there, Picayune get there, which 7A team is going to be there. So hopefully Osha Springs will get back, or one of the teams be at Gulfport. So that's what I think is going to be right now.
Gulfport look good against Biloxi, man. Ooh, they look
I thought they may score a little bit more, but yeah, Gulfport and they have there's a junior quarterback, so and running back, if I'm not mistaken. So
man, but Gulfport look good, like you said, from the looks of everything. Ocean Springs look good, a lot of folks there in the comments, they want to know like why they keep switching the quarterback stuff out, man. Like if they go do some history on Coach Bramlett, and you'll see he's always done the 2 quarterbacks system. He did it with Cam Akers and others up there, Clinton, and they got some hardware behind that, so they kind of know what they're doing.
Yep. So it'll be interesting. Osha Springs will host Harrison Central next week. Both of them 1-0 in the region, so a big game there to separate.
Did Gulfport beat Picayune?
Yes, Gulfport beat Picayune. That's why I say Pascagoula and Gulfport, I feel, are somewhat similar in their offense, defense, and plus a couple other things. That's why I had Pascagoula beating Picayune. But yes, Gulfport beat Picayune, and Brandon beat Picayune and Picayune again. 2 games.
But that's just like Gaucher losing to D'Iberville.
Yep, I did. So it's just crazy. These non-region games, But the rankings will be out on Tuesday. See, I'm pretty sure Picayune probably will stay number one since they won. So we shall see.
Hey,
It's
Deuce
past
look
your
good tonight.
bedtime. Who's
Deuce
that?
look good tonight. Deuce look good
Yeah, I have to
tonight.
watch some of the highlights, from the news
He
stations
came out.
there.
He looked real good. Like his first throw, first Long Beach came out and they snuck us with an onside kick and got it back. Got it and scored on the first run play by 80 yards. I'm talking about what's the boy name? He was number 10 last year. He number 0 this year. Real big. It wasn't Junior Brown. It was another kid. He took that thing, hit that edge, and was look like Derrick Henry, gone. And then they went for the onside kick again. No, Deuce get the ball. Deuce first throw, he gunned it. It's picked off. It should have been a pick 6. But Deuce, put that 4-3 speed to use. Got the dude down at the 1. And the boy, it took them boy 4 downs to get in there and score, man. Like they were getting stopped. And then after that, it was all George County, 48 unanswered points. And they only played the offense probably one drive in the second half. The rest was why our backup, Wyatt Spitall, he getting a lot of reps this year. He gonna be real battle tested when Deuce leave and go to Auburn, man. He gonna be ready next year.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him because George County is not.
I don't know why not. He been playing the last
streaming.
3.5 weeks.
That on streaming though, I have to look at the highlights. I don't have Huddle access to go watch like game tape and stuff. I'm nobody. I'm just here to try to shine the light. So I don't have
old.
access.
You're yawning.
Yep, I know. So we fixing to shut it down, and we still have a lot to come over the weekend. And before we turn the page, I'll look at week 8. So
week 8.
Congratulations to all the teams that won, those who lost, still all the people that went to Waffle House, and appreciate all the fans that support this page. And I said in the pregame, with all the podcasts from Talking Ball, their app, 228 Sports, Brick Athletics, the Biloxi Coaches Show on Tuesdays, the Bingo, you do Coach Bramlett's show on Thursdays. I mean, it's just a lot going on back, a lot more than when I started in 2010. There wasn't much going on. You weren't around.
You still here. You still
I know.
here.
I'm still trying to keep it going there for everybody. So
matter of fact, Matt DeGario. I say his name wrong on WLOX.
Oh yeah, Matt DeGario. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He just texted. I guess he's watching the show, and he said Matt spitting bars over there.
Yeah,
I don't know what you said. I looked at.
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, Matt is there, and like I say, Blake Brent, he sent me the score. I'm always looking for. I don't want to call them out. I don't want to call out the usual suspects week after week. St. Patrick, Resurrection. I'm trying to look for score every week. I can't get their scores, but they sent me their scores. Blake Brennan there right before he was going on the show. I turned it on. He was messaging me, and finally got St. Stanislaus score. So, again, I'm going to share their as I do on Saturday. Share WLOX highlights tomorrow. I'm just shared Gaucher on WXXV. I'm doing it now. I'm sharing it to Twitter at Coast Football, and then on the Facebook page, I share their highlights game by game. So I spread it around, all the highlights. And I know Jane last week he did the interview in the 228 Sports interview. I'm trying to get a hold of that tape when Bingo got ran over, but we'll see if that's released or not. So, but again, we're going to wrap it up here. And appreciate all the fans, even on the replay here, has been on over an hour to wrap up these scores, and just the first week of region play when the games count. And congratulations to everybody, and we're all winners here on Friday night here on the coast. The best fans are here on the coast. I can say that.
No, by far.
So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up again.
Yep, close it out, man.
Okay, I don't have no quick saying besides stats out. I don't have no
Out.
smart.
I'm gonna salute that when you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
salute
salute,
Jay.
and then James there. Appreciate everybody joining us in the pregame
All right,
show.
JD.
So yeah, Jay. He called. What did he say earlier? I was calling him JS2, which that was my nickname, but he called himself JD. JD2. Is that what you called yourself? JD2. Okay, so bingo for JD2. I'm Matt Stats. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Stats
Peace.
out.